Oh, him? Yeah. I know him. It's going to take a while. It happened years ago. Did you know there are 3 kinds of aces? Those who seek strength, those who live for pride, and those who can read the tide of battle. Those are the 3. And him? He was a true ace.
He was a fighter pilot they called Solo Wing Pixie. He was a colleague of the man I seek. 10 years ago, there was a war that engulfed the world. The Belkan War. And in that war was a pilot who trailed across the sky and disappeared from history. He was a lone mercenary who inspired both fear and admiration. He is the man I seek. And so, with the words of Solo Wing, the curtain rises.
It was a cold and snowy day.
Listen up. We have a situation on our hands. A major squadron of Belkan bombers has crossed our border, and it's making its way here, to Valais Air Base. Apparently, they intend to attack our base in an initiative to gain hegemony over the entire Republic of Ustio. Valais Air Base is our country's last line of defense. If our base falls, no one will be left to stop Belka from taking over Ustio. Your mission is to destroy the squad of bombers and defend our base. Belka's invasion must end here.
attack unit has been successfully intercepted. I'd like to see how those Belkan cowards report back to their superiors. Cypher, I got a feeling you and me are gonna get along just fine. Buddy. All team, you have permission to land.
It all started on that snowy day. My first impression was, he had potential.
The Belkan War is shrouded in mystery. But now, a decade after the peace accords, a portion of the records was finally released. I quickly got a hold of it. Wanting more details, I acquired information from unknown sources. There was a reason for my obsession. The roots of the war lie in the Belkan Federal Law Review that took place in 1988. Belka, suffering from economic strife, permitted its eastern territory to secede, and the Republic of Ustio was born. But Belka's economic troubles did not subside. Meanwhile, taking advantage of the situation, the world superpower Osea continued to flourish. Amidst the economic panic, an extreme right-wing party took power within Belka, aiming to restore strength and stability to the nation. And on March 25th, 1995, with the discovery of natural resources in Ustio, Belka began to invade its neighbors. It was the beginning of the Belkan War. Unprepared, each country fell quickly before the might of the legendary Belkan Air Force. In just a few days, they occupied all territories except for the mountain range. In response, the occupied Ustio government military placed all their hopes on a joint operation between Osea and the foreign mercenary forces. This, of course, can be found in any history book. But I noticed a strange similarity in the materials I gathered. There were several accounts about a mercenary, all followed by the code word, demon. But most of the information was incomplete. Still, I was intrigued. I decided to pursue the history of the Belkan War through this mercenary. I was certain I would find something there. Would it be the hidden truth behind the war, or just another battlefield legend? I wasn't able to meet the mercenary himself. Actually, it's questionable if he ever did exist. But thanks to some old friends in the military, I was able to track down several individuals who knew him. Soloing is one such man.
This is AWACS Eagle Eye to GALM. The target is in formation along the highway. Commence the operation.
Keep an eye on us up there, AWACS.
Belkan ground forces are blocking off our transport route. Destroy them all.
There's those fighters coming up from Ustio. They must be in a desperate situation. There's no way we're giving up this place. This route is Ustio's lifeline. I'll get it back. Those houses are probably full of Belkan supplies. Better not take any chances. Clocks two! They intend to wipe out everything?
Operation complete. Now the Allied forces can secure a military transport route. Well done, GALM team. Looks like luck was on your side again today, Solo Wing.
Yeah, well, I've had my fill of going home without wings.
You will be monitoring the airspace B7R, currently under Belkan control. Strong opposition is expected by enemy squadrons, and the presence of a magnetic field has been detected, which may interfere with communications. In short, this will not be a walk in the park. The B7R airspace is located above an area rich in subterranean resources, where many conflicts have been fought in the past. You're authorized to engage enemy planes upon contact. The time has come for your skills to be tested.
Belkan Priority 1 Strategic Airspace B7R, aka the Round Table. It was the grand stage where we pilots performed. We were all on an equal footing, fighting under the same conditions. No affiliations or ranks to hinder us. Aces from every nation crisscrossed through those skies in pursuit of air superiority. The only rule of engagement was to survive.
Comm team, this is Eagle Eye. Penetrate B7R and get a feel for the surroundings.
Comm 2, roger. This kind of job is what we're all about.
Enemies on radar. Exercise caution.
Something wrong with the IFF? Only 2 aircraft are showing up on radar. Don't they know about the round table? It seems they're on to us.
Comm team, engage.
We will survive, Comm 1.
Locked on. Missile. Comm team, penetrate B7R airspace.
So those mountains in front of us make up the round table. I've heard my share of stories about it.
Warning, radar shows additional craft approaching area B7R at high speed.
Comm 2 to Comm 1. Enemy reinforcements, probably the main force. Drop 1 to all craft. Time to hunt some wild dogs. Down them all. Roger.
Comm team, we cannot authorize a retreat. Intercept them.
I figured you'd say that. This is gonna cost you extra. Mercenary dogs. This is a round table. Dead man's words hold no meaning. They're flying typhoons. Don't underestimate these guys. Cypher, they're known for their long-range attacks. Be careful.
Incoming message from Allied Forces Operations Command. Allied Naval Force has begun its advance. We appreciate your work.
Looks like we were just a couple of decoys. Yo, buddy, you still alive?
The Ustio and Osean coalition forces are to launch a joint campaign. The collective strategic military force of the two armies will be referred to as the Allied Forces. The campaign will be called Offensive Campaign Number 4101. The objective of this operation is to secure a sea transit lane for the Allied forces. To secure this channel, the Belkan forces occupying the Futuro Canal must be cleared out. You will be given a choice of missions in this joint operation. Offensive Campaign Number 4101 will be comprised of the following 3 air missions. First, there is Operation Gelnikos. This is an air-to-air surface operation, whose objective is to wipe out Belka's air squadron, port facilities, and surface weapons. Next is Operation Round Hammer. This is an air-to-surface operation, whose objective is to wipe out the Belkan fleet, its port facilities, and surface weapons. And the last mission is called Operation Costa. This is an escort mission, whose objective is to protect the naval vessels in Osea's 3rd Fleet, including its state-of-the-art aircraft carrier, which will be making a trial voyage. Fierce resistance by Belkan forces is expected in all 3 missions. Choose carefully which one you wish to participate in. That is all.
Cover the Allied fleet so they can pass safely through the canal. No mistakes.
This is Captain Weaker on the Kestrel. All personnel, carry on with your duties, but listen up. Fight your way through the route carved out for us by the 1st Attack Unit. We're gonna get through this.
Blips on radar. Multiple enemy craft entering our airspace.
Guess they don't really want us to get through. Let's go. They've entered the canal. That's as far as I'll get. Being an escort isn't easy. Been hit by gunfire. Enemy missile has hit the water. Point of impact confirmed. Caution, we're within range. We've suffered a direct hit to the bow. This is it. We're going down. Sinking one lousy ship won't change a thing. Prepare to defend against aerial attacks. Send out an alert in all directions. Bandit flying overhead. We should be able to pull it off with Cypher and Pixie on our side. Those greedy Osean bastards. I knew they'd come for our canal. I'm losing. He dodged it.
Target hit. Radar lock. Missile hit.
This is Commander Weaker on the Kestrel. My fleet has managed to pass through the canal. We did it! Yes! We really did it! We took some damage, but nothing too serious. Thanks to the gentleman providing air support.
The mountain town of Solus Ortis is located just outside Ustio's capital, Directus. The Allied forces will deploy airborne troops, comprised primarily of Osea's 101st Airborne Division, over Solus Ortis, in a surprise air and ground attack on the Belkan forces. This operation will play a critical role in Ustio's liberation. Your mission is to provide support for the airborne troops. Destroy Belka's surface-to-air defense network and all interceptor aircraft, securing a safe drop zone for the airborne troops. Be aware of civilians still inside Solus Ortis. Your actions will determine their fate. Good luck.
Escort units, this is the 122nd Airborne. We're now entering the designated airspace. We can't return to base until we empty this transport. We're counting on you.
First, attack any anti-air troops positioned at our parachute unit's drop destination. Los Ortis have been eliminated. The rest is up to the ground forces. GOM team, mission complete. Return to base. Start the operation. Release 5 sectors under Belkan control.
Cypher, let's do this right. I know you've got what it takes. Pixie Roger, engaging at will.
on May 13th, 1995. Ustio was finally liberated. The tide of war was about to change dramatically. The true nature of the war begins from this point forward. Accounts vary depending on the article and source. Everyone is a hero and a villain, and no one knows who is the victim and who is the aggressor. And what is peace? All questions commonly asked about any war in history. As the battlegrounds move to Belka, he is also thrust into the middle of this war. This is also where my interests shift from the war to him.
Intelligence reports that Belka is developing nuclear arms and V2, a weapon of mass destruction. The Allied forces' top brass have decided to send troops across the Hydrian line into Belka to check for nuclear arms and secure resource interests. Centered on the ruined base of Gladysant, the Hydrian line, Belka's long line of defense, stretches 700 kilometers from Osia's southern border to the border of Saturn. Situated at the peak of Mount Freya, the ruins of Gladysant have been transformed into a modern base with anti-aircraft artillery and a powerful defense system. The Galm team's mission is to launch an aerial strike on Gladysant, opening the door to Belka for our ground troops. In all probability, this will be an extended operation. You will be able to refuel during the latter half of the mission. If you're low on fuel, temporarily withdraw from the battle and return to base. Good luck.
Nuclear inspection, huh? What a joke.
Fire away at Gladysant. Your job this time is to take out their defense mechanisms. A return line is located on the south side of the operation airspace. All planes can pass over this line whenever they need to resupply.
All 7 here. Commence firing. Watch out, the enemy's tracking you on radar. I've lost control.
Break missile.
Fire a missile into the hole.
Box 2.
Don't expect us to do the impossible. Straight this way. I'm hit. Going down. Check that out. It took a hell of a lot of gunfire to make those holes. Plane wreck. Gladysant must have shot him down here. Enemy spotted. Initiate attack. Someone fired at us from that mountain. We'll just have to sail through them then. Watch yourself.
AA guns destroyed.
My engines have been hit. Call on all available troops. Firing indiscriminately. Fox 2, Fox 2. They've even got an airborne here. Looks like they're prepared for anything.
Box 2.
Only supposed to survive if they take our food supply. Fox 2, Fox 2.
Gladysant's attack powers have been neutralized. All planes return to base.
Did something just flash?
Belka's second line of defense stretches across the Shane Plains in the central region of southern Belka. Centered on 2 anti-aircraft camps, this line blocks our refueling unit's air route and is already delaying our military plans. This operation will consist of attacks on enemy ground troops and engagements with enemy fighters. There will be 3 squadrons in total. You can decide which one to accompany. Alpha Team will be responsible for destroying enemy ground ordnance. Beta Team's job will be to eliminate air resistance and destroying enemy ground ordnance. Beta Team will eliminate air resistance. Escort Allied transport craft after each mission is completed. That is all.
Hey, Cypher, you hear me? Just look at the view. There's not much difference between those countries from up here.
Belkan's defense line is just up ahead. Avoid enemy fire while snuffing out their military.
Don't know about you guys, but if that mercenary unit does all the work, I'll be pretty embarrassed. My plane's in good shape. Buddy, you'll be calling me ace at the end of the day.
You should be making visual contact with the enemy base soon. Locked on.
Looks like we live to see another day, Cypher. Welcome back.
That was a bad nightmare. We lost several of our members. Mercenaries like us are disposable to the guys in charge. But in the end, we survived.
I'll support you any way I can, Comm Team.
here. Good job.
Yes! We did it! The sword has been pulled from the stone. It was Lucio's flight lead who did it. Right on! Now that's what I call teamwork. Cypher, you hear that warm welcome? It's the sweet sound of victory. Not bad for a group of misfits, huh? Well done!
All planes, job well done. PJ, don't get too excited and crash, buddy.
Yeah!
Orders have come in for an emergency sortie. A major air engagement is taking place as we speak between Belka and the Allied forces near the border, in the B-7R airspace, which Belka is committed to defend at all costs. B-7R, commonly known as the Round Table, has long been a symbol of Belka's political, military, and industrial might. However, at noon today, along with its lightning-quick commencement of Operation Battle Axe, the Allied forces officially announced the permanent abrogation of its non-aggression treaty at the Assembly of Nations, and simultaneously attacked B-7R with a massive fighter squadron. This mission may be our chance to finally end the Belkan War once and for all. I wish you luck.
Incoming message from Allied Forces HQ. 40% of Allied air forces are already lost. Yeah, there's too many of them. We can't handle them all. Where are the reinforcements? Time to dive into the fireworks.
Warning, the enemy's locked onto you.
Mark 2! Demon offensive! So that pilot is the Demon Lord? All planes, we don't have time to go game hunting out here. What the hell happened? Go to Mark 2! It missed!
Missile hit. Locked on.
Watch out! The enemy's locked onto you!
Warning, the enemy's tracking you on radar. Radar lock. Missile hit. Radar lock.
Yeah! Cypher just bagged a bandit! The Demon born of the round table.
All targets within combat airspace are down. Operation complete.
Yo, buddy. You still alive?
My pulse raced at the astounding accomplishments of the mercenary known as Demon Lord. I forgot about my job and read everything I had on hand. Around the time Demon Lord received his nickname, South Belka showed signs of weariness regarding the war. Because the region was set up as a defense line to protect the birthplace of Belka in the north, the people's dissatisfaction had reached a climax. The cities declared themselves demilitarized and peacefully surrendered to the Allied forces. Unable to establish a defensive position, the Belkan army kept retreating to the north. The end of the war was fast approaching. I was given an opportunity to interview the former aces of the Belkan Air Force. Back then, they were the masters of the sky, and they had also known him. So I crossed the border to follow his trail. I wanted to capture the war and the Demon Lord from their point of view, to capture the voices of those who were there. Rot Team Commander, former member of the Belkan Air Force, 2nd Air Division, 52nd Tactical Fighter Squadron, Detlef Fleischer, also known as the Red Swallow. With his skill and demeanor, he was practically a poster boy for the armed forces. Today, he is a professor of history at the University of Dinsmark.
Back then, I was bursting with pride. I wanted to lead us to victory, for Belka's honor. Staying where it was nice and warm wouldn't accomplish anything. My flight's mission was to maintain air superiority in Area B7R, an essential area that we couldn't allow to be violated. That day, when I heard the order from HQ for reinforcements, I became angry. The station force was in chaos because of just 2 mercenaries. There was no way the mighty Belkan Air Force could lose to mere mercenaries. My pride was shot, and the round table was defiled. What went wrong? Whatever it may be, the fact remains I was forced to walk a different path in life than the one I had envisioned.
Gelb Team is number 2, former member of the Belkan Air Force, 5th Air Division, 23rd Tactical Fighter Squadron, Rainer Altman. He flew the skies of Directus during the capital's liberation, and he's still there to this day.
I met him above this very sky. I can still hear the sound of the missile alerts from that day. I received an order to fly to Directus on my way back from an intercept mission on the southern defense line. The order itself wasn't unusual. We kept being deployed from one mission to the next without receiving even the basic maintenance. But the situation was the same all around. We were late reaching the operational space. The station squadrons had already retreated, and warning bells were going off in the city. And the people were looking up to his plane, high above the sky. He pursued me relentlessly. As soon as I thought I'd shook him off, there he was again. The never-ending sound of the missile alerts put fear in my heart for the first time.
This man was head of the command group and was known as the Vulture. Schwartz Team Commander, Dominik Zubov, former member of the Belkan Air Force, 13th Night Fighter Air Division, 6th Tactical Fighter Squadron. He fled after the final battle in order to avoid prosecution for various war crimes. He is still on the run and being hunted as an escaped killer.
Sorry about the accommodations. Goes with the business. I'm not active during the day. Back then, I was a shadow assassin, an escapee killer. Given the order, I'd even shoot down my own comrades. I received an order to take down deserting craft on that day. It was a typical assignment. But something unexpected happened. My target was no new recruit, but a top ace of the Belkan Air Force.
And we just had to go and run straight into the chaos at the round table.
The man was sharp, just like the rumors. But that wasn't the problem. The problem was that the mercenary team of Solo Wing and him were there. Thanks to them, I lost my target. I figured the least I could do was take them down in return. Of course, that was where my luck ran out.
Every time I flew with him, his skill stood out. He was unstoppable. It didn't matter where the battlefield was. The man had complete trust in his own powers. He was born for battle, a demon lord who struck down all opposition. He paid no heed to the troubles of those who flew with him. Before long, everyone had taken notice of him. More and more would show up to watch him go off on sortie. Mercenaries or maintenance crew, it didn't matter. People wanted to burn his image to their memories. Hell, they weren't the only ones.
Calm to it, all units. I've confirmed a burning city up ahead. That must mean the bombing started.
Cover the Allied bombers. Eliminate all ground and aerial threats.
Let's move. Welcome. To all bombers, remove Belkan's ability to counterattack. Priority is placed on destruction over accuracy. Initiate bombing sequence. Drop all.
Nobody knew why they were fighting anymore. All I felt at that point was sadness for the world. That's why
PJ, you gonna get remarried to your girl? We're both getting married for the first time.
Crow team, do you read me? Head for Voltreich to take out any remnant forces the Belkans could have positioned out there. Calm 2, what's the problem? You're behind.
Don't worry, I'll catch up. This is PJ from Crow Team. Calm 2, is there a problem with your craft? I'm just sad.
Emergency transmission from Allied HQ. A Belkan bomber squadron equipped with nuclear weapons has taken off for Ostio.
What? separate ways.
All enemy planes are down. Return to base. On its way.
June 6th, 1995. I was still in school at the time, but I'll never forget the images I saw on the news that day. The Belkan set off 7 nuclear explosions on their own soil. Maybe their old militaristic leaders couldn't stand the idea of Allied forces invading their land, and declared to the world that the land to the north was the Holy Land of Belka. According to official records, more than 12,000 people died. It was a grand self-sacrifice that engulfed all. The only thing remaining was the desolate landscape. How did the people of Belka feel about what they saw? And what did he think of it when he looked down on it from the sky?
We have discovered remaining enemy troops gathered in the Yering mine area in northwest Belka. Numerous divisions of the Belkan army refuse to accept the change in government and are disobeying the command to disband. Your mission is to clear out the remaining Belkan troops, and if the reports are accurate, there are still plenty of them. The Higher Lark base, located in Osean territory, has been arranged for your refueling. If your tank is low, go there and they'll help you out. To compensate for the losses in Galm Team, Crow Team will be joining you. We're counting on your best performance yet.
Galm 1, this is PJ. I will now join you as Galm 2. I'll be flying under your command now. Give me orders at any time. It's an honor to fly as Galm's number 2. By the way, PJ stands for Patrick James. And I like to play polo. You know, the game with the horses. Maybe we should get going now.
The return line is located on the west side of the operation airspace. Pass over this line whenever you need repairs or supplies.
It's too bad about Pixie. I guess we won't be flying the skies together anymore.
Enemy aircraft spotted. High in the forest. We've got company. Apparently Gustio's demon lord has arrived. Missile evaded. Bomblet dispenser launch.
Warning! The enemy's locked onto you!
The 8 platoon has been put on garrison duty. That's what they're here for.
That is one huge facility.
Missile warning. Warning, the enemy's tracking you on radar. Is all ammo loaded up on the ship? Missile break! Enemy ship has been sunk. All attack targets have been destroyed. Galm Team, not bad for a couple of rookies.
All right.
We've received a report that remaining Belkan troops are converging on Belka's northeast coast of Anfang. The enemy is deploying land, sea, and airstrike teams. These troops refuse to accept the Belkan interim government's official capitulation and are adamantly resisting. In light of the current political situation, this mission will be a top-secret operation carried out entirely by mercenaries. The mission will be called Operation Bloom and will be divided into 3 separate areas. The Mars strike team will attack enemy naval vessels and surface troops along the coast. The Mercury strike team will engage land units and enemy fighters that are using a tunnel as a makeshift airbase. The Jupiter strike team will be responsible for maintaining air superiority after the Mars and Mercury teams have completed their missions. This operation will begin at 1600, when the capitulation ceremony takes place in Lumen. Mars team will strike first, followed by Mercury and then Jupiter. Choose carefully which team you wish to join. That is all.
GOM team, take out Belka's remnant forces assembled at the coastline.
I sure wish I could take out all the enemies like Cypher. I'll give it a shot.
We're broadcasting live from the signing ceremony here in Lumen. Senior officials from each nation have come here in hopes of a peaceful solution.
I'm gonna put an end to this war.
Today's signatures will ratify an agreement which calls for the disarmament of Belka. Belka's military forces will be reduced, and tension with neighboring countries will come to an end. The agreement will be covered in detail in a later broadcast.
Make them cancel the ceasefire radio announcement. We're thinking abandoned ship, youngest to oldest.
According to our sources, the agreement also touches on the possession of nuclear armaments. Nevertheless, the Great War that enveloped the eastern countries and cost the lives of so many has finally come to an end.
This battle should put an end to the war. They still have a lot of firepower left. Using nukes didn't solve anything. How would they decline this battle?
Call 1, Fox 2.
This is Call 2. Something's wrong. There's too many to be remnant forces. The war is over. What are you doing?
We haven't lost yet. It's still not over. In fact, we're just getting started.
Why are they still fighting? Why don't they understand?
SOD launched. Enemy armored vehicle destroyed.
That's some serious firepower.
Radar lock. AA guns destroyed. The Belkan remnant forces have been completely eliminated. Well done, GOM team. Today is a day of hope. A day in which tension between different countries will be greatly reduced.
This is no remnant resistance. This war's not over yet.
June 20th, 1995. A treaty declaring a cessation of hostilities was signed in Lumen, a city on the border of South Belka and Osea. It was a one-sided treaty that heavily favored Osea. The borders of the affected countries that fluxed greatly over the past years finally settled down at the cost of many human lives. The battlefield shifted to the tables, and the politicians from all countries squabbled with each other over the rights to the underground natural resources, the initial cause of this war. 6 months passed without any developments, 6 months of void. I focused on this time period for the hidden truth laid there, and I learned that my pursuit of him was not a mistake.
The top officers in the Belkan army have pulled a coup d'etat. Calling their organization a world with no boundaries, the forces bombed the city of Lumen, where the cessation of hostilities treaty was signed, using a giant gunship codenamed XBO. Your mission is to pursue the XBO and... Wait! We've just received an emergency transmission from the control tower. Unidentified aircraft are approaching our base. Scramble all planes! Quick, there's no time! Get into the air immediately!
Warning, heavy ECMs. We're now on Cold Horn alert. Why didn't anybody notice them until now? Visual confirmation of blast approaching the lake. Everyone head to your room. This is Tom 2. Control tower, situation report. Unidentified craft entering our airspace. Here they come. Take them out of the way. They're going for a runway. Direct hit on runway. We can't take off.
aircraft. These are Sapin fighters. Lucio, 6th Air Division to Sapin aircraft. Cease attack immediately. All right. I approve the fight against the Sapin forces.
Name and Lord, huh? Does he really think he can win when his only motivation is money?
It's that mercenary unit everyone's talking about. Let's find out if they're really that good. I am moved to support.
What do they expect to accomplish with only 2 fighters?
Those escort planes are in the way. Take them out.
I must be slowing down. My gauges are going crazy.
Pasaga 1, give me a damage report. Pasaga 1! I'll shoot down the Demon Lord on my own.
Both of these are the team escorts have been shot down. Those were our aces.
Locked on.
Com 2, Fox 2. Missile evaded. Get ready for an aerial battle. You know what to do, right?
Radar lock. XPO will be out of combat airspace in 20 miles. Move it. Locked on. Fox 2.
Some of them getting close. We're shut down and some more. Shut down Mark D. What's happening with damage control? Switch hydraulic system to line B.
Radar lock.
Pressure is dropping on valve 3. Cyber's unstoppable. He's gonna destroy everything inside.
Get some attacks in around the XPO cockpit. That should mess up his steering. The XPO has been stripped of all defenses. Take her out, golf team. Radar lock. Fox 2.
The XPO's taking a death blow. It was Cypher. Cypher did it.
Nice work, GOM team. Operation complete.
Our death is not the end of everything. The rest is up to you. There's a coded message on the radio. Decrypting message. Yo, buddy, you still alive? Yes.
We have confirmed that the aircraft that attacked our base belonged to the major rebel organization, A World with No Boundaries. This highly organized renegade army is comprised of soldiers from numerous countries, including Osea, Sapin, and of course Belkan. They are believed to possess a massive arsenal of weapons. The coup forces are gathered at Mund, in northern Belkan, where they've confiscated the Avalon Dam facility from the Belkan army. What's worse, we've discovered that this facility houses an experimental V2 weapon. Unfortunately, it took us a long amount of time to uncover this information due to the facility's location beneath the dam's waters. Proceed immediately to Avalon and destroy the V2 weapon. Note that B7R blocks your route from Valet Air Base to Mund. You will most likely encounter fierce resistance from the crew forces of both B7R and Mund. Remember to be prepared for attacks from land, air, or elsewhere when choosing which aircraft to pilot. This mission will succeed upon the destruction of the V2 of the target area and your safe return to base. Now go destroy that weapon and come back in one piece. Anything else is unacceptable.
Pass through B7R. It's an awful place, but the fastest shortcut. Maintain current course.
I'm
suffered considerable damage. Comm team, you're almost there. Locked on. Splash 1.
I won't let them take the sky.
Break missile. Locked on.
The king who sleeps in Avalon will become the new hero.
All enemy planes are down. There has been no change in plans. Stay on course to target destination.
I'll follow Cypher to the end.
I'll transmit the latest data we've received from the Allied forces. According to this, the dam is protected by an intensive anti-aircraft defense network. To deal with this, the Allied squadron will draw anti-aircraft fire to itself in the skies. Meanwhile, GOM team will join the Allied squad's Avalon Dam strike team and approach the target at low altitude through the canyon. That's the only way we stand a chance at succeeding. If you destroy the V-2 launch control facility, you should be able to stop the weapon from being fired. The V-2 will probably be equipped with a nuclear warhead. The destruction caused by its single warhead will most likely dwarf the damage inflicted by that tactical nuclear attack before. All the Allied forces will be mobilized for this full-scale operation. It seems this war doesn't want to come to an end. We must stop the V-2 launch. Hurry!
Comm team, keep low to the water on your approach to Avalon. You'll be shot down if you fly high. Get to the enemy fortress. Once you're close, increase altitude and fly over the dam.
This is
So this is the hidden truth about the war. And this is where his trail ends as well. The impact of the 7 nuclear detonations on the world's psyche was great. Those who witnessed the carnage went on to organize a global arms reduction. Perhaps they were admonishing themselves. Furthermore, the existence of V2 was concealed. The events that occurred after the war faded from people's memories, and these men were also sealed away from history. Maybe this was one path to achieve peace. And here the curtain falls on this story. However, that does not mean their own stories came to an end.
A nation is comprised of the individuals who live in its borders. It can only become a nation when it is supported by those individuals. But mercenaries who cross lines in allegiance for money have no country to protect. They only fight for their own power and fame. But if that was the case, then why did I lose to him? Maybe not having the burden of a nation allows you to fly faster.
I bailed out and landed here. The captain was gone. I've lived a comfortable life since then, and I probably have him to thank for that. They ring the bells here at dusk to honor the liberation of the capital. It signals peace, but to me, they are the sounds of death.
Is the man still alive? Though I guess it's hard for bad guys like us to die. The real heroes always manage to die first. But guys like him, Solo Wing, and me, we live the rest of our lives in hell. But then again, being alive is proof that we were good.
Marcela Vasquez, the Espada team's number 2 and former member of the Sapan Air Force, 9th Air and Land Division, 11th Tactical Fighter Squadron. She is thought to be a survivor of the Coup d'etat squadron. She currently earns a living as a dancer.
If the Demon Lord hadn't appeared, our lives might have been different. For me, it wasn't about flying or ideals. Most of all, it was about him, my flight lead. Our mission was to escort the heavy command cruiser that was to act as transportation for the organization. And the Demon Lord appeared, as if to block our path. I will never forget his overwhelming power. One by one, my comrades were shot down, and then the mother bird we were supposed to protect. I returned alive from that battlefield, and I returned to this city where I grew up. I left the organization, too. I never went back to the sky again. There's no meaning there now that he's gone. He died in that fight. But I don't blame anyone. The regret and suffering that remained after that battle were also what he had given me. They're among the precious few things he left behind.
Anthony Palmer, former lieutenant of the Ocean Air Defense Force, 8th Air Division, 32nd Tactical Fighter Squadron. He's been missing for some time, along with Captain Bristow of the same unit, since the decisive Battle of Valdreich. Captain Bristow is rumored to be one of the founding members of A World with No Boundaries. Palmer's ties to the captain have led many to believe that he is a high-ranked individual within the group. He currently works for an insurance company based in Aurid, the capital city of Osea.
Demon Lord was right. Everything he touched fell apart. I thought I was watching magic. When I was in the military, they called me an ace too. I got medals for my actions on numerous battlefields. I never felt fear toward an opponent. The same went for my ideals. I wasn't afraid to take on even an entire country. But when I was fighting him, something felt different. At first, I didn't know what it was. It wasn't until I noticed my hands shaking on the flight stick that I realized. It was fear. It's embarrassing, but once I felt that, I couldn't fly anymore. I felt guilt toward my companions at the time. There's always a war somewhere, and I'm sure he's on some battlefield somewhere fighting even now. He'll always have a place to live.
Larry Funk, also known as Solo Wing Pixie. GALM Team's number 2, and member of the Ustio Air Force, 6th Air Division, 66th Air Force Unit. That's right. This man was his buddy, and his enemy.
I should have died that day, but I didn't. I dragged my wounded body and reached ground zero of the nuclear detonations. A barren, empty land. I felt an unbearable sadness when I witnessed that landscape. There were still people living there. They were the ones that saved me. It may be true that the world has no need of borders, but would getting rid of them really change anything? The world won't change for the better unless we trust people. Trust is vital in a peaceful world. But that will never happen. I'm still on the battlefield. Right now I'm near a border. I want to see for myself what borders really mean, and what their volition really is. I may not find what I'm looking for, but I still want to try. Anyway, that's what I've come to believe, and I think that's enough. Will he see this video? If you do meet him, give him a message for me. Yo, buddy. Still alive? And thanks, friend. See you again.
The Demon Lord of the Round Table, a warrior who soared through the Belkan War, inspiring both fear and admiration. His presence filled the skies for but a few short months before he disappeared. Apart from that, nothing is known about him. I was never able to find out what kind of a person he really was. But whenever they talked about him, they always had a slight smile on their faces. That, perhaps, may be my answer.